All right, y'all. So Miss Phaedra Parks is back. Now, I am not a Phaedra fan, always justice for Candy, right? However, I will say her 5-minute cameo was more entertaining than half of this cast has been in all 12 episodes. So I'm just going to keep it a buck with that. Brit, you're trifling. We'll get to you. Let's just go ahead and dive in. Thanks for joining me. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tears Take. I am reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 12. It's called The Frack is Back. So let's go ahead and just dive in. And if you are just rocking with me, please remember to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you agree with, what you don't agree with. But as always, just keep it cute. So I have my notes on my phone. Just so I can just get through this quickly. So let's do it. Okay. So episode starts out with Shamia and Kelly. And while I appreciate their high energy, does everything have to be shouting and or does it have to be all of that all the time? I don't know. It's exhausting. Basically in this scene, Kelly proposes an idea to take the girls to Grenada. So it's basically their finale cast trip where they go out of the country. And, this time around, Kelly and Shamia are going to host it. So kudos to the newbies, even though Shamia is not super new, she's a new peach holder. So shout out to the newbies for actually hosting the finale cast trip. So that's amazing. And we haven't seen any of the housewives go to Grenada. So that's also a plus. So I'm excited to see where this trip, what happens on this trip. And I also like that they are going to focus on providing relief for the hurricane victims that are there. So not only are they going to turn up, have fun, obviously have their little cash drama, but they are also going to go there with a purpose. And that's really cool as well. This is also going to be a bit of a celebration for Kelly because her divorce is final or will be final right around the same time as the trip. And so, she spent a lot of time and energy and money in freeing herself from her ex. And so, she's also going to just have another thing to celebrate. So, I'm excited to see where this trip, I'm excited to see what happens on this trip. Portia had a scene, touring a $4 million home. I'm not sure if she can afford it. The streets are saying she can't. But she basically tours a home with her mom and her sister. And it's the same old, I just want to have somewhere to lay my head. And I will say, I will give her credit for being smarter in this marriage than she was in her first marriage. This marriage, she had her mom stay in her home. So she still had that. She basically set things in place so that she wasn't kicked out on the curb the way Cordell did to her in her first marriage. She was giving us a lot of the same things. Last time I was touring a house, I was with Simon, blah, blah, blah. She has a way of talking about Simon and bringing up that she's going through a divorce without actually giving us any new information or any insight into what's going on. We got all of our information from the blogs and Simon running his mouth online. We haven't gotten anything from Portia. So I guess they need to pay her more for that. So this next scene with Shamia, can somebody clue me in on what I missed? Because I thought they resolved the lapdog thing. I don't know. Maybe I imagined that, but basically Shamia in the next scene goes to the radio station, and I believe that's where she used to work, right? V103. She goes to the radio station to promote her single. So again, congratulations to her for, the success of her music and getting it out there. But basically, the interviewer asks her about Drew's music, and she starts throwing all this shade. And I don't know, it didn't land for me. I think she looked bad. I feel like everyone coming at Drew makes themselves look worse instead of making Drew look bad. You're trying to shade her and embarrass her, but you're the one that looks like an idiot. And I forget exactly what Shamia said, but it was just really immature, just hey, bitch. I'm how old are we? Are we 18? You're over 40 and I hope she wasn't doing that. I hope she wasn't doing that on air. Hopefully that was just kind of like kiki behind the scenes with your friends and past coworkers. Hopefully that's what that was. Hopefully she didn't do that mess on air. But it's just like, again, doing too much. Like when they were trying to introduce her, she's up there shaking her ass. Like, I don't know. She needs to sit down. In the words of Ramona, take a Xanax. Okay. So next scene is Brit. Damn, that was like really loud. Okay, so the next scene is Brit. Y'all know what I do. We're going to mosey on past that. But Brit, I have some words for you later. Next scene, Angela and Charles visit another one of her investment properties. Girl, I like you and all. Enough with the investment properties. I realize this is your, I guess, storyline, one of your storylines. I realize, hey, it's a great platform to show everyone, hey, I have these investment properties. I get it. As a fan, I'm tired of seeing it. We get it. We know. She does let us know that she's $2 million in debt, basically buying all these houses, renovating them, and they're not selling quick enough to get her profit. And so right now she's sitting in $2 million debt. I hope she's able to recoup that. I don't know. It seems like every house there's a problem. It's not getting fixed on time. She's hearing all these contractors like promising her the world. Yeah, we'll do it in a week. And then a month later, they still haven't done half the things they said they were going to do. And so, Angela, I hope you get your money back. I hope you get your renovations complete. But yeah. Other parts of this scene is that Angela actually apologizes to Charles for not listening to his side when it came to his problem that he had with her mother. After talking to her mom about it and hearing the story, she was like, oh, that's what happened. And now she kind of sees her man's side. So she apologized for that. He was like, whatever. He barely wanted to hug her, but he did. And then the other part of that is that she tells Charles that Brit invited her to an event, invited him as well. And he's just not here for Brit. He's not here for her running her mouth about him. He don't even know her. So he's basically, he doesn't care about her. He's like, yo, I'll come with you, but you can say hi for the both of us. I'm not even fooling with her. And so Angela's cool with that, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Charles, so let's get into this trifling event. First of all, Brit, there were grammatical errors on your menu, so fix that. Second of all, I was confused. Now, I am not like the country club type. But from what I have seen and from what I have researched, what the ladies were wearing did not match a country club golfing event. The ladies were dressed as if they were going to the Kentucky Derby. The event was at a golf club. And the product that was being featured and launched was shapewear. None of that makes sense. You see how Portia wanted to relaunch her luxurious bedtime sheets and the ladies came in lingerie? You see how the two go together? Like, that makes sense, right? You know, she had massages and the yoga was a little weird, but like, not yoga, but the meditation was a little But you know, it was like a really sensual bedtime-y event. That like made sense. But you, Brit, you're launching shapewear at a country club wearing Kentucky Derby clothes. Again, if I'm missing something, let me know. I am not claiming to be Miss Country Club, but that did not make sense to me. Okay, so some of the ladies arrived. Shamia looks like she's going to a funeral. She's in all black. She's in a black fascinator. I'm like, okay. Labels everywhere, looking a mess. That's Shamia for you. And as the ladies are arriving, they're still setting up. I was like, girl, what are we doing? And Brit has the nerve to say, I'm going to teach these ladies how to be classy. Our last few events just went haywire. I'm gonna show these ladies how to be classy. Girl, cosplaying events that you clearly have not been to. with the terrible execution of the actual event does not equal classy, boo-boo. Okay? You can't take this piece of a type of an event, this piece of a different event, this, like, you can't, like, take all these things out of what you think is the upper echelon. I'm going to take this from the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to take this from the golfing world, and I'm going to put them together, and it's going to be classy. No, that doesn't make it classy. It doesn't. And furthermore, like, if you're so classy, why didn't your neighbors know you at this country club that Kelly pointed out? You're clearly not a regular. You took some of the ladies out golfing. You didn't know what to golf, how to golf. You should have known not to wear heels on the golf course. I at least know that. You looked a mess out there. All y'all screeching, all crazy and ratchet. Can't even drive the golf carts. Y'all looked a mess. If you wanted a golf event, why didn't y'all come in some polos, some golf clothes, a little visor, some cute sneakers? You can hire an instructor to actually teach y'all how to golf. Again, it wouldn't have made sense with the shapewear, but, you know, it could have just made more sense. So then the Oakleys arrive, and Charles pays Brit dust. I love it. I'm with Charles. I need to look up his astrological sign, because if I don't fool with you, I don't fool with you. I can't be fake. I can't do it. I can't do it. Angela, you know, spoke for the both of them and gave Brit like the most awkward hug. They just had a really awkward exchange and hugged each other. It was very weird. It was very awkward. It would have just made sense to be like, hey girl, I know we left off on a weird note. I'm here to support you. Thanks for having me. Instead of like oh, hey, oh, you look nice. Oh, am I being punked? Like, it was like a weird, whatever. So Drew arrives. Drew, I know I've been defending you a lot, but you up here wanting to shade Brit's business. Don't think we forgot about Drop It with Drew, because you up here saying all your little side comments, and no one could understand what Drop It with Drew was. Can you give us a 10-word summary? Oh, okay. Cynthia arrives looking all glittery. Saying she just got off a plane. She travels so much. She's always like so back and forth. I don't know how she does it, but she came, and as in Cynthia fashion, always supporting. So she looked great. As the women are sitting down, there is a table for the cast, and then there's probably 20, maybe 30 other people in the room. And as, you know, they're serving food to the table, Brit is looking all stressed. She's talking to her husband. She's like looking around, and she's like, no, like, the planner messed up. I don't want these people sitting down talking about the people outside of the main cast table. I don't want these people sitting down. They're supposed to have high tops and cocktails. Like, why are they sitting down? I don't want them to think they're getting served. Basically, she only had food for the main cast. Girl, what? I saw on Blue Sky, someone said it was a luncheon without lunch. How dreadful. How tacky. How trifling. Brit, what is wrong with you? You're going to have, let's say, 40 people in a room, and you're going to serve 8 of them. You're disgusting. And then she wanted to be on Instagram. Don't believe anything you see. You said it out your mouth. You said, I don't want them to think they're getting served. Portia said, oh, I'm just going to eat really fast then, and I'm not going to give them any eye contact. Portia's a fool. Portia has her faults, but she's funny. And then, so, you know, what's her name? Brit goes up and does her, like, speech, just kind of, like, introducing, I just want to introduce Fair and Naked, and, you know, I'm just proud. So she does her little, like, speech, and she's like, you know, and I want to give out some goodies to my girls. And so she is not only just feeding the main cast, now she's giving out goodie bags, gift bags, basically samples of her shapewear to just her cast. Brit, why didn't you just do an intimate, like the way Angela did a dinner at the vault with just the cast? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you just have a cast dinner and say, this is just a soft launch. I want to give you guys a sneak peek, a little preview. I want to hear your feedback. I want you guys to just, like, if you love it, please just put it on your Instagram for me. I want to give you guys first access to my new shapewear line. That would have played off way better than trying to act like you have friends. I already know you probably put out a casting call for these people to fill up the room, because you can't possibly miss, nobody likes me because I'm so pretty. You couldn't possibly fill up a room with that glowing personality you have. So I already know these were a bunch of strangers who wanted to be on TV, and you made these poor people come to your event and they get no food, no real food. Maybe they had appetizers. I'll give you that. Maybe they had high tops, cocktails, and maybe some past hors d'oeuvres. I will give you that, maybe. I didn't see it. I'll give you that, Brit. But they didn't have a full meal, nor did they have any gift bags. But you want to flaunt a set menu and gift bags in front of them? Girl, get away from me with this. Shamia pointed out how tacky your behind is, because as she opened up the box where her shapewear was, she said, yeah, that gift box was bare and naked. There wasn't even tissue paper. Why didn't you have tissue paper, a little note, a little origin story? Like, girl, come on, Miss Classy. Miss Classy. You don't know how to put together a nice little promo box? Can we cut the cap? I can't, stop acting like you're so classy and you're so refined and I serve lobster on a Tuesday on a whim. Stop pretending. You can say, this is my first business. This is just, we're just starting out, and leave it at that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome that you're starting a business. I haven't found the business. It's looking a lot like She by Sheree. I try to Google it. I haven't seen anything online. Y'all let me know where it is. But that's commendable that you're starting a business. But don't sit up here and act like I'm going to teach these girls how to be classy and I'm going to do this and I'm going to act like you're stunting on somebody when your event is a mess. So as she's passing out her bare gift boxes, she gave Angela the extra large. I was like, you know what? Stupid. So then Brit tells the cast the origin of her product, her brand. Basically, she had a BBL, and after your surgery, you have to stay in, I guess, some sort of shapewear to keep everything together and have your stitches in place. I guess you just kind of have to wear all of that. And so out of that experience, she wanted to have a more everyday shapewear that you can wear, and she wanted to launch her own. Okay, fine. And then she goes into a weird story of oh yeah, so when I had my agency, I took the girls, I took my staff down to Miami and let them get any surgery that they want for their birthday. Is that why your license got taken away? Because you were probably using company funds to travel and get surgery and all this other nonsense? Is that why you had your license revoked, Brit? Were you telling on yourself? Were you telling on yourself, Brit? Huh? It wasn't Kenya. No, it wasn't Kenya. No, that's something like what Kenya did and get your insurance license taken away. But misappropriating company funds for trips to Miami for surgery with your staff, because you couldn't even feed people at an event. So you want me to believe that you came out of pocket for these surgeries for other people? Brit, you told on yourself there. Then Brit, Angela, and Charles had this week behind confrontation. Then Angela out of nowhere was like, okay, guys, I just want to say Charles doesn't have a side baby. Crickets, what? And then when she said that he doesn't have a side baby, then Brit was like, yeah, and I'm not his whore. And she was like, yeah, because, that's what Angela said. Angela said I'm his whore. And I'm like, did I miss something? Did Angela say Brit was Charles's whore? I thought she just said that you were a whore in general. I was like, I don't remember that. Let me know if I'm remembering wrong or if Brit is projecting. because she sure did like throw herself in there saying, oh, she said I was Charles's whore. What? Who would say that about their own husband? That doesn't even make sense. And Charles was like, girl, you wish. Charles was like, girl, I don't do whores. I don't do you. Back up. So I said, yes, Charles. But basically, like, that little confrontation is what they kept putting in previews. I don't really watch previews that much, but sometimes I'll like accidentally see it. And the previews made it look way more than what it was. It was an absolute nothing burger. Brit is a nothing burger. Bravo, don't hire her back. Don't hire her back. She's such a flop. Her voice is annoying. She spews negative energy. So then Shamea confronted Drew at the table and was like, oh, Drew, I just want to know why you think I'm a lapdog. And Drew did not back down. She was like, because you take things that I say, you twist it, and then you try to get in Portia's good graces with it. That's the epitome of a lapdog. And so she was like, yeah, you do that. And because like Drew just stood on business, there really wasn't anywhere Shamea could go with that. Like, besides, no, I didn't. No, I don't. And so Drew was like, yeah. So then Shamea like turns her head and she's like, bitch, like doing the most again. Shamea, you just took an L in this. You've been taking L's for me the past like 5 episodes. You looked ridiculous. You want to sit there and ask Drew, why'd you say this? Drew answers you, and then you get mad at the answer. I don't understand. What were you hoping for? Were you hoping for Drew to back down? No, that's what you do because you're a lapdog. That's what you do to Portia. Drew doesn't back down to you, Shamea. I don't know what you were expecting. You confronted her. She answered. You should have sat there and ate your food if you didn't want to hear the truth. That's what you should have did, Shamea. But then she gets all mad, twisting all up. Bitch. I don't want to hear it. Looking crazy. You looked real cool, Shamea. Barking like an idiot. And let's just note, the girl that you're always taking up for, Portia didn't say one word. She didn't say, oh no, okay, just chill. She's not like that. No, we're equals. That's my best friend. I don't see her that way. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to dead this. Portia said not a near word. You know why, Shamea? She's not worried about you. So you up here burning bridges on behalf of Portia, and Portia is trying to hurry up and eat her food because she feels awkward that the other people didn't eat. Portia's not worried about you, Shamea. Always leaving you out to dry, looking crazy over here in the corner, barking. And she enjoying her food. So then Drew tells Brit, she says, oh yeah, Brit, we need to talk one-on-one. Let's just do that at another time. And once again, I'm like, what do y'all need to talk about? I don't know. Did I miss an episode? What happened between y'all? I thought y'all were fine. But she's like, oh yeah, we have things that we need to talk about. And as she's saying that, Kelly jumps in. Okay, Drew, but just make sure you tell the truth. Just make sure you tell the truth. Kelly, no one was talking to you. My bad. Shamea telling Brit that she needed to talk to her, and then Kelly jumping in. That happened before Shamea confronting Drew. So I think since Drew was like, hey, Brit, I want to talk to you, then that's when Shamea wanted to pipe up and wanted to get a piece of Drew, and then got her entire face played. So I mixed up the order of those two things. That's when Brit was like, okay, you guys, I'm trying to keep this a classy event. You guys can go outside if you need to, but don't do anything here. So that was pretty much the end of that terrible event. Y'all need to step it up. That was completely and utterly trifling. Miss Classy. So anyway, after that event, we have a scene of Drew going to her lawyer's office. She is signing her record deal. She's really excited. She calls Dennis ahead of time and asks him about, hey, like, did you tell Portia I was trying to sleep with you? Like, that is going around. It got back to me. Like, what's the deal with that? He denies it. He's like, no, I just want to work with you because you're talented. I never said that. Well, he didn't say I never said that. He was very much like, why'd you believe that? I cannot stand people that can't give a clear answer. Did you say this? Yes, because of this? Did you say this? No, I would never. Like, give me a clear answer, not, come on, man, don't tell me you didn't. Did you believe her? Ugh, anyway. But in so many of his Dennisisms, he said, no, he didn't say that. So then Dennis zooms in to watch her sign the record deal. So congratulations to Drew. I hope she has lots of success with her music. Ciao. So then Portia goes to visit Phaedra. And allegedly, Phaedra only came in on the last 2 weeks of filming, and she already has 2 confessionals that we saw in this episode. I said, okay, 2 confessionals for 2 weeks of work. Go ahead. I'm thinking that they did a last-minute confessional to address the Candy stuff. I think they were like, all right, we're spitting in the face of a lot of viewers, bringing you back. So let's at least acknowledge that you did not leave on the best of terms. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know below if you agree or if a confessional a week per filming is normal. Okay, so I'm going to just read through my notes of what happened because there was a lot here in a very short scene. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of like run through it. When Phaedra came on, she did acknowledge the Candy stuff and kind of like, hey, when you last saw me, it wasn't great. And then they showed a lot of the flashbacks and showed us like not only the last time she was on the reunion stage when that whole "you said that" happened, but they like did a whole rewind of her time on the show. And so they started with her pregnant, not knowing her due date, looking way more natural than she does now. And, you know, just Miss Southern Belle. And then they kind of just showed her throughout her time on the show. And it's funny that, and not that women aren't allowed to change, but I do remember her saying in the different reunion that, you know, I'm not all weaved up. I'm not generally weaved up, as she liked to say, aka she liked wearing her natural hair. And now we see her in a blonde bust down. It wasn't really a bust down, but we see her in a blonde wig down to her butt. I'm like, all right. Like I said, you can change your mind, you can evolve, whatever. I just always think it's funny that she was, you know, always one way and then just turned into like something very different. That's all I'll say. So, anyway, so as she acknowledges the Candy stuff, she brushed right past it. She was trying to like brush past it with a little Bible verse and just wanted to move on with that. And girl, I guess, I mean, yes, you can argue that everyone has sinned, everyone has made a mistake, but not everyone has accused someone who's done absolutely nothing to you, and best friend or someone who had a long friendship and history with. People generally don't like accuse them of rape and drugging people, but she was just like, oh, who hasn't done that? And like just like brush past it. I'm like, okay, girl. Okay. So then Portia starts kind of going through the ladies and was just like, oh, you know, here's who I'm hanging out with these days. Here's who's in the group. So Phaedra says Kelly Phaedra says Kelly is giving garden gnome. She says Brit has more bodies than Willie Watkins, a funeral director. Portia said that Drew is working with Dennis. And Phaedra said, oh, she's selling hot dogs? And then says, oh, but I heard that she preferred tacos. I said, what? Listen, I can't stand for Phaedra. I was living in these little like 5 minutes though. I was like, what is wrong with her? So then Portia calls Shamia she's still sitting with Phaedra. They call Shamia because she's like, oh, you know, they're having a trip. Let's call the host and see if we can invite you. So she calls Shamia, basically puts her on the spot to invite Phaedra. What a best friend. But it's also like very producer driven. So Phaedra was probably already booked and ready to go. And this is just kind of like the formality of it. But if we're going to pretend that this is the actual invitation, why would you put the host on the spot and be like, hey, I'm sitting here with her. Can she come? That is so annoying. Like, what are you going to say? No? Like, I'll be like, I guess. So anyway, so then Shamia dials Kelly in and they both say, yeah, girl, come on the trip. So they're just getting ready for Grenada. And then at the end, Phaedra's like, okay, so I can't wait to go on a trip with like Brit, the girl about town, wink, wink. She basically runs through all of the women, basically shading them based on like what she said. Like, I can't wait to go out with the garden gnome and, girl about town and da da da. And then she calls Angela and the secret wife of Charles Oakley. I said goodbye. Goodbye, Portia. Or no, not Portia. Goodbye, Phaedra. I was done. So if she continues to bring that in the last few episodes, fine, Phaedra, fine. But Andy is smitten with her. He said she is here to stay, so she will definitely be on next season. I don't know what she has on Andy, but she's in good with Bravo and NBC. So we're going to be seeing a lot more Phaedra. If she can, bring the fun, and if she's going to be full-time, she needs to show her life. So we'll see. But anyway, honestly, lackluster episode, except for the last 5 minutes. I was laughing, with Phaedra, but otherwise it was giving cheap. It was giving cheap. That event sucked. Lackluster, non-productive arguing and drama. Not every episode needs to be like fireworks, but if it's a productive conversation that moves story forward, that would be great. But it's like these circular conversations. I no longer know who's mad anymore because people that are bringing things up, I'm like, I thought that was resolved episodes ago. So again, if I missed an episode, my bad, but I'm ready for them to wrap this up. In the words of Lala from Vanderpump Rules, wrap it up, wrap it up. Wrap this season up and let's get ready for Miami because but anyway, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know below how you felt about the episode, how you felt about Brit's trifling event, and how do you feel about Frack being back? Let me know below. Thank you for rocking with. If you got this far in the video, please remember to like, and if you want to be friends, go ahead and subscribe. By doing so, that really helps to support the channel and it helps to send my content to other Bravo lovers like yourself. So that would be really helpful. I really appreciate you rocking with me. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.